Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ascent to Glory Kickoffs powered by the Army ROTC, U.S. Army, and Esports. My name is Sam Talks. Joining me is Hail Monkey Man, and this is going to be a really cool opportunity that we have here. We're going to be having two matches today, Monkey Man. One best of one powered by Vanta, a best of three powered by XP League. So we're going to be getting a lot of Valorant going on tonight.
And it's, of course, the day after new patches drop, but we're sticking with some of the old while we mix in some of the new. We go to a new academic year, you find your new desk within each of your new classes, and you see what maybe new friends you're going to make. And as we go into it, it's great to be able to have all of the opportunity for the powered by and the sponsorships and all the people that have been able to support these kinds of efforts, especially Army ROTC and U.S. Army, as you can go beyond in your field of study and get a world-class education and leadership. As an Army officer, you'll learn to be a decision maker and a mentor. It's an environment at any scale, and it's a challenging path, but the choice is simple. Decide to lead, and to learn more, you can go to Army ROTC and the scholarship opportunities available by visiting goarmy.com/ROTC. So just like these guys will be soldiering on, we're going to be going at one map in particular that we all know and love here, Sam, but with a lot of agent changes these students are going to have to face.
Yeah, the agent changes are obviously going to be the biggest topic of discussion. How are they going to be able to play around it? I don't think they've really had enough time to scrim around and make any big agent changes, and especially when you don't have the VCTs going on anymore. What are the pros playing? Well, we can't see what the pros are playing anymore, so it's kind of up in the air. I would imagine they're still going to fall back on what's been the meta, especially when it comes to our first map, which is going to be the Great Ascent. Nothing better than that. It really is a staple. And for the best of one here, powered by Vanta, I couldn't think of a better map to go to. And for our first matchup, also, it's going to be Stafford Esports versus Rock Hill Esports. So a really good opportunity here, Monkey Man, to see what's going to be sort of the way Valorant is going to be moving forward.
Yeah, it's going to be a long stretch of that too, and there's already another patch, by the way, set up for next week after the likes of some Labor Day weekend extension, and everyone has already seen, oh, Gecko, he got some love, especially onto the mosh pit, and when you think of Ascent, you think kind of, you know, I think you're going to be very much correct. They're going to be testing what normal metas have worked on these maps before, and if they're still viable. Jet is becoming less of a gale force wind and more of a soft breeze, but one that could not an old lady over if they were not ready for it at the time. Very heavy decision making. A lot of these ultimates are going to be much more expensive, and that mosh pit may be able to actually take them out if they try for those some of those hard B pushes. But I'm ready to see what's broken, what's not, what's maybe good to go. KO wasn't touched. Sova, he only gets a couple pings on his recon dot. I don't know, but I just want to see it all.
Yeah, rest in peace, Sova. But taking a look at our agent select, I don't know why they had to nerf Sova some more. Poor Sova. Sorry, I just had to get that off my chest. Speaking of Sova, Rock Hill, we have Caro on the Sova. Really great choice here on Ascent, and I'm very interested with that reduction in the pings from 3 to 2, how that's going to change things around here. But of course, over on the Stafford side with their initiator, the choice of KO, still a really powerful option on Ascent. For the most part, though, when we look at the agent select screen here, there's some like massive changes. Neptunia is hovering on that very recently hardcore nerf Jet, and Rock Hill, you're messing around with the double duelist potential of a Raze and a Reyna, but Reyna even in the VCTs, not necessarily a bad choice.
She's not a bad choice. Really has come of that upward viability for entry. You have to still work around where you want to put your leers and make sure those flashes at least draw a distraction while all the rest of the util and agents can kind of push through. I don't mind at all the double duelist kind of comfort style pick with her and Raze. It feels very 2021 in that way for Ascent in action now here in late 2023, but it's a matter of, all right, how uncomfortable are we with some of the recent changes literally 24 hours ago to now, and I do like the cipher in opposite of it, really creating some of that better control, and I believe that we did have at least one killjoy to kind of test things out. Yes, we do on short giraffe, so gonna see early if some of just having that extra ult orb necessary to be able to go and grab is going to make them slow down. But we got a Brim on either side that's going to feel the same kind of sting. But just like you said, Neptunia, I think, is going to be the most tested here in this game.
Yeah, Neptunia is really the barometer of what has happened to Jet. The nerf on pretty much everything. The dash, the updraft going from 2 to 1. There is so many different things. And now the Blazestorm 9. But look at how fast Rock Hill is just going to go in and try to execute onto the site. Vincent the Bot is going to be the first one to fall, of course, by the hands of this most recently nerfed Jet on Neptunia. But Rock Hill, they are stuck at this A main approach. Monkey Man really trying to figure out what to do with the loss of that Reyna.
Yeah, and that's your big blind that's off the mark too. There's no others, and you have good control with these Sky Smokes. Brims bring better control off of those smokes, and those were unaffected. It was purely ult game when it came to the orbital strike, and this is a fantastic cross to just deny any of the short-term entry to A. But they leave one behind while they re-navigate over to Catwalk instead. And the Fade was also affected because they're of the re-equip off of Prowlers, trying to make this a more decision-making kind of situation. You have to be very sure of what you want to do when coming back to it. It looks like we're looking at a re-hit on A.
Going in through tree. They're going to have to be careful. Crits just poking their head up, but going in through tree. Neptunia wasn't quite ready for Toestar, and that's going to be the pull, the ripcord for them to entry onto site. A couple of picks, though, back and forth. It's still a 3v3. Rock Hill is going to be able to get the plant down by the efforts of Toestar, and now it's going to be the retake here for Stafford.
A kill was a great idea. They were audibling. Even with pistols, you can still get a great down in distance from that tree position, and you create a longer cross, which is just not as sure. But now as the Sky Smoke does dissipate, they're going to put the Haunt out and see if anyone gets caught in its gaze. Another recon dart. Opposite of that as they're hanging out in hell. They will get spotted just a little bit out, so they recognize numbers and distance. They take care of one, and as they entry through, not exactly winning all the duels as you drop down to a 1 versus 1. They're not going to have enough time. They do ping it, and they will be able to step out, and this has basically secured the round, and they get the kill. Toestar is good for 3, and they're good for the first.
Good for 3, Toestar. That was a beautiful recovery from Rock Hill here, Monkey Man. They were down their Reyna right off the rip, right? That could have been a moment where we entry in or we try something else. Maybe we go to B, but it was the re-hit onto A through tree. And really the efforts of Toestar. Neptunia was in a really good position, and especially when we saw that crossfire between them and Altered, but they couldn't get the hedge on it to Toestar, who, like we said, walked away with 3 here. Now we're going to be seeing the A hit once more in this buy round for Rock Hill. Hopefully a little bit cleaner this time around.
Going to be testing this, I think, early and often, recognizing at least early term that the Cypher is hanging out here. You have the full recon scan. They know they're still in the cross. Put the boom bot out to really scare them off the boxes, and that means that one updraft is now fully used up. They have only classics, and that's just going to be easy pickings moving into this A site. They've got the power differential here on this buy.
Yeah, it's a perfect entry, right? Go in on the Sova Dart, figure out whether the Jet was. Neptunia tried to get away. Oh, that grenade didn't quite go where they wanted it to. A little bit of damage there, and the door is going to be broken. But Crits doesn't need no sinking pain shells. They just have a Singer Hope and some headshots on the SHS Roach. Still going in through tree. Mystic Reality finds one onto Crits. Potentially the only one that Rock Hill could be getting away with, but once they pick up that Singer, could convert it into another one. Mystic Reality, even through the smokes, finding the picks that they need, but Caro through the smokes as well, returning the favor. Now we're seeing Rock Hill in that 2-0 comfort spot, but this is a good opportunity, Monkey Man, for Stafford in their buy round to equalize things back out.
Yep, that was your classic full save, especially off of the initial round 1 loss, and then they drop a couple weapons on the side of Rock Hill, and they'll be testing at least premeditatively over here onto B. As they want to kind of poke and prod. And what's interesting about this, look at the change up here. I think they recognize on this read on the side of Stafford, this is going to happen. They moved their Jet and their Cypher from A to B. They're kind of all paired up here.
And look at how they've set themselves up too. It's sort of one hiding out inside of the gazebo there, and then another looking towards closer toward with the site. But that is going to be them pinged, forcing to use the cage to actually be able to make it out, but he's not going to be able to. Toestar again opening things up. Neptunia is still going to find a kill onto Crits, but that's going to be a very rough moment here for Stafford. They need to make sure that Rock Hill isn't going to pick up that Vandal, but inside of Market, Mystic Reality is going to be the Bulwark. Vincent walks through, finds the one. It's SHS Roach. What is up with these Brimstones right now, Monkey Man? They're finding a lot of picks, a lot of kill potential here. Now it's going to be the 1v1 with Caro and Roach to close things out. Finally getting Stafford their first round on the board.
But that was still a 3-body drop in favor of Rock Hill. They were trying for the bonus and ultimately don't get it. And Stafford, they will get their first round on the board, but getting some key weapons out of hands. And so that means that this one is going to be a more a timid buy. They may be looking into either some sheriffs, but otherwise, that was a great approach by Rock Hill. I like that they kind of brought it in. They forced that immediate pressure, and that was great counter read on both sides to be able to get Cypher out of the game and had the initial just scan onto him, and they were able to spray into Gazebo. But otherwise, they're going back to kind of all reliable here. And again, the split up. Cypher now solo doloing as they're way deep into hell here on A. A couple of those traps set up, and now you have the no fun police as Mystic Reality, who was doing such work on the previous round. They're now going to use their no command and push all of Rock Hill away.
Yeah, push them all away. Not only that, but getting a pick in mid onto Vincent, taking out the Reyna once more. A little bit of damage, but like you said, no fun happening here. They popped that lockdown, or not the lockdown, but they are going to pop their ultimate, the KO ultimate, and really push Rock Hill away. And this is similar to what we saw in that very first round. What are they going to do here? Neptunia pushing in through the attacker spawn. They're not going to rotate that way. Instead, they're still going to try and fight it out and take that A-side approach once more. But this leaning towards them is going to be a battle, a very uphill battle, especially if Neptunia is able to successfully make this flank happen.
This is about timing, too. If Neptunia doesn't get up there, maybe in the next couple of seconds, and if they decide to crash in, they'll be late to the party. But considering how deep they are now, and they have not accounted for where Neptunia has been hanging out, they're in a great position to catch him on the flank. But it looks like Rock Hill is going to commit to this site, and Neptunia may be able to pinch them straight on their Achilles and trip them as they go in. But everyone is playing for life, and the alarm bot will go off, so they know a flank is behind them. Mystic Reality and Alter, though, are altering the deal, and they're not going to alter any further for success rates for Rock Hill. But as they try to enter in, crits is good for 2. They're going to use the paint shells, and they're going to secure the plant, and they're going to find a blind through the smoke.
Crits! 4 on the board for them! An unreal moment from this duelist on the Rays. Wow. High value picks. They go up into heaven. Could have been blinded out by the KO, but with the way that Mystic Reality came out of the smokes, it looked like it was going in Stafford's favor that entire round, and especially how Mystic Reality was playing. But crits came up in a massive way to close out that map with the help of Toestar on top of it. Went from the bottom fragging on the leaderboard to now sitting comfortably at the top, at the very least for Rock Hill, and that's going to continue to further up and put Stafford in a really awkward bye. Ooh, this is going to be... Oh, this could be good. This could be glorious here, Monkey Man.
It could be an ascension there, but look at this cross cover, and they will get splash damage from that shorty. They're going to play immediately off of this. Boombot's going to travel in. They're going to see if they can go straight in through the sky smoke, but they keep to themselves here in B main. And I like the swing. You're here on a low buy. You got broken. You didn't get the 2-2 split, and Rock Hill has plenty of cash to burn, but they're not gonna go all the way in. You will have Sova. Look to the sky, my man.
He was looking through the lens of his recon drone, but heavens opened up from above. Very lucky to be able to get away with their life, and you can see the panic that was coming into them as well, wherever they wanted to go. Alter is gonna hold this angle on tiles. They hear the footsteps happening, and this could be a really good moment for timing, but unfortunately they missed out on it. That could have been a good moment to get the Sova there. Unfortunately, slipping through their fingers, but still going to try and make it happen in the back line once more. We're going to see another Brimstone ult being put forth, a lot of laser beams happening, and Ultra is still going. So pushing, slowed down, but they're not landing the shots they needed to. Even through the smoke, Vincent is going to protect short Jirahu, wondering to themselves, what just happened here?
Oh no. They had a killjoy moment. They just kind of walked into the sand. They missed every right click, all 4 of them. And then I think I saw, I think it was Short Giraffe. They came back and they were actually just asking for a knife fight. They're like, okay, man, look, I've only got this thing out. But then ultimately Vincent will cover down on their killjoys. So good timing, just couldn't get the execution. That was the weapon buy up, and that was the biggest difference, honestly, into that round. You had Stafford just in a rough position. So that turnaround, that rotation from B, that was actually a very patient, disciplined play, even though you have that difference, that advantage, to not just force it onto site.
Yeah, and the way that Rock Hill likes to play, the massive amounts of patience. They see the opportunity. They know that this is a thrifty round for Stafford, but what do? They don't engage in on it. They don't need to. They're going to pull back. And they have of 2 ultimates that they can use to go onto the site. I would like to see the Raze ult go right in. It's going to be a beautiful entry. Mystic Reality is going to find 1, but traded out immediately by Short Giraffe. Spike being planted down next to the generator, and now Vincent the bot, powered by this Reyna ultimate, is going to hold right here. The Molly slowed things down for just a little bit. Unfortunately, they made a couple of bullets right through there, but Vincent wasn't able to get out. Roach is going to fire through the smoke and get the pick there. Crits pushing inside of Tree. Sees that Ultra is there, wants to take the fight, continue to try and push it here. Could use the ultimate if they wanted. The satchel goes out, but they still survive and get the kill, Monkey Man.
Oh man, that's gonna hurt. You do also have the showstopper to secure this current plant here into our 6th round, as they gotta still be able to retake off of Jenny. Crit's good for another, and the last one is cleaned up by a very Short Giraffe that's feeling oh so tall. Rock Hill is expanding their lead, and yet again, we are in the cycle of having to save. It's never the one you want to be in. You'd rather be able to use those old funds you had before, but it's no fun with the funds right now, as Stafford again is going to be kind of stuck, and I maybe want to see them kind of gamble it up, get stacked together, maybe look for this hard read.
Yeah, the way that Stafford has been playing, it just really comes down to, because the way that they are on site. Rock Hill, they just look for the 1, and then they are able to back out, or they're able to get in. Mystic Reality has been getting a lot of frags for themselves, but Stafford just hasn't been able to find that same level of impact frags that Rock Hill has been able to get so far. And another Molly. Roach is going to slow things down, make the swing happen, but not quite able to get the shots. Vincent is still in a really rough spot, but gets the kill there. Gets their health back, but it's not going to be good enough to survive through bugs. Ultra. That is going to be a massive pick. Finds one on the Short Giraffe in mid with a Sheriff.
That looked like a shooting range training pack with the bots going left, right, and they just ended up not being able to have the Devourer cover down when they ran out of bullets. But a trade is a trade is a trade, and this is actually the first time that Rock Hill has been testing Marketplace. So stall them out. They're fairly deep into it. They don't know if the cross is set up, and they don't really want to test it. And luckily for them, they still do have spike control, but the spread by Stafford has given them plenty of intel for any of these point of entries. And they're kind of looking a little bit lost. We're at 30 seconds. They got to really make a decision here. They don't know if everyone has re-navigated over to B. A is going to hit, and you do have Neptunia and Alter. They're waiting for them, but that Bladestorm is not exactly active right now, so there's not a lot of high impact off of this low buy.
Unless Ultra can make the magic happen again with another clean headshot from the Sheriff. Rock is starting to run out of time, but they do have enough time to get onto the site, plant the spike, and set themselves up for the post-plant. Another beautiful spike plant on top of Ginny, seeing if they're able to find information with the 0-point knife. Go back out through the smoke. Crit sees 2 inside of Tree, wants to take the fight to Ultra, but not going to risk it any more than they have to. A little bit of pings from inside of the cage, but not trying to fight it out. Crits! A beautiful moment. A little stick and a little kill here and there is going to be able to secure the round for Rock Hill from Toestar. The dance, though. Monkey Man, Crits really coming up in a big way. That could have gone disastrously for them if they'd fallen, but no, they didn't. And instead, they found 2.
Crits, at this point, rolling nat 20s all day. 14 and 3. Opposite of them, Luca's right next to them, just underneath at 7-2. And in the first 7 rounds, 10 assists Toastar. We were talking about brims going off. Both of them are holding the hand of their top frags on either team, but it's Rock Hill that's currently been able to really promote a lot of that success forward. And this Ascent right now, I mean, it's been a tough one. You're going to see this Recon Dart go over the top line, and they're going to be using that lockdown to really enforce a lot of early pressure, and they are just pile driving through, and guess who? It's Crits.
Look at what Crits is able to do. Toastar was the first one to entry, but still Crits is able to find the final blow kill necessary to secure this site. And really with only one person there, this is basically free for Rock. They can rotate around back over into Hell, but Stafford is going to have a massive task ahead of them if they want to take this site back.
They have post plant with the Hunter's Fury. You got the Showstopper as well. You honestly could just chuck it up there and get a triple kill. Everyone very hurt. You have Stafford. They've been trying to move their way through, and you actually do have their KO all the way onto Tree. Vincent gets rid of Alter. Mystic will grab a fledgling Crits who was nearly dead on the doorstep anyway. It's a 2v3, and they may be thinking about just kind of saving for the rest as it's now into that 1v2. Neptunia has to come up large, but it's Vincent that will get him from the bottom rope instead. And that's another for Rock Hill, and it's just a cycle for Stafford. Not a place they want to be.
No, it's not, and we could see that in the form of their economy, Monkey Man. They don't have much choices here in what they want to buy. Neptunia still has enough money, but this is also the moment where they're sitting on these 4 ultimates. Maybe Neptunia holds off on using the Vandal, switches over to the Blaze Storm, starts using that. They need to get this economy righted in the best way that they possibly can. Because when you look at Rock Hill, the bank is bursting.
They bought Bitcoin back in 2011. They're looking pretty solid right now. But as we head into round number 9, Rock Hill, again, they've tested B. They really haven't hard-nosed B like they have A. They have a very kind of love-love relationship with going over to A. They hit up to Catwalk or they hit Marketplace and they just rotate around it. And you do see Alter on your minimap who is kind of just sticking around for the long haul. And now this duel begins here in mid, recognizing that a lot of the push is going to get at least expended. The tip of the spear is there, but Alter has gone all the way back to Wine. They're going to try and take advantage, maybe catch him by surprise for this rotation in, see if any of this will be picked up. And now Alter is left with some intel before they crash on site. But a lack of there being an agent there might give Rock Hill an eye to look behind him.
It really might. Alter needed to make their move a little bit sooner, I would say, but potentially maybe able to find it out there, but there's no potentials anymore. Short Giraffe sees the alarm bot going off, and that's alarm bots inside of the head, so we can make that swing, take out Alter, and clear it out, but they were traded. Still, though, a 3v3 Rock Hill on site. Trying to fight it out for their lives, realizing another flash is going to come through. Mystic Reality only has a stinger in their hand. Vincent! A clean headshot is going to stop things there, but it's not over just yet. Until Crits throws a satchel onto the high ground and takes Bugs out of heaven.
Crits may have just thrown basically a Halo sticky grenade to be able to finish off the fade up top, so Bugs will drop and be absolutely slapped down as they bring a boot to him in that 9th. Now going 10th, Rock Hill. Looking like they're ascending just fine to a glorious spot as Stafford, they're going to get into this bye. The best situation that we could see, Sam, is Stafford being able to run it through this round, maybe find themselves 4. But so far, they've been committing, not the hardest, but pretty confirmed rotations to initial point of contact. That Boombot, that was ballsy by Neptunia. They stared that Boombot in the face.
They stared that Boombot in the face, and they wanted to stay there, maybe seeing if someone was going to swing with it, but they did not. Crits through the smoke, Alter. And what does Crits do when they see a giant laser beam coming after them? They walk forward, they get a kill, and they're still going to continue to hold it down to find their 3rd one. Throw the grenade inside of there. They know someone's inside of it. They're going to go up onto the high ground. And Monkey Man, how does Crits do it? How do they find 4?
Oh, Crits just hopping over the wall, dodging the Hammer of Dawn, basically, taking on every laser, be it sights or those from satellites, and turning them into nothing but super soakers, as they need to be nerfed. Where's this guy going? Crits is all over the map. Free entry into Marketplace. It's a BOGO as Neptunia steps in their face, and then look, we just decide hop wall. They isolate this final player into the corner because they can't step into the paint shells, and they just rock and roll and RKO him down. 9 out of 10, my man. Sam, this team is just on point.
On point. They're really feeling it. And it's not even just to say that crits by themselves. Obviously, they're hitting the frags massively, but it's the way that Rock Hill plans things out. They don't go unnecessarily. They go when they're ready. They go when they have enough of the information to actually fight things out. This could be dangerous. I'm going to say could. I don't want to jinx anything here. If Roach is able to pop off using this Judge, may be able to set things back up into an ideal situation for Stafford. But with the way that Rock Hill, they don't go unnecessarily. They're going to take their time before they take the fight.
Don't lose the initial duel. They do have at least this position, but you also see how nerfed those cloudbursts are. There is not the 4.5 seconds of cover. There's just 2.5. Got to be able to find value off of the initial turn. They find that massive shoulder of the Brimstone, and they just lay down Neptunia. That one was doomed from the start because of the patience by Rock Hill. Stafford just gave themselves up.
Yep. You go in, Vincent gets the first pick, dismisses, finds out Neptunia's on the other side. Neptunia realizes that they had to fight it, but now Bugs flushed out of heaven towards CT with the nice laser beam, again, that we've seen multiple times so far in this one map alone of Ascent. Crit, you are insane! They seem unstoppable, Monkey Man! It's a Crit's world, and we're all just living in it.
Crits watched the dedication montage of Jing and was like, I could do that. And just decided to take that movement, invest. And they're going nonstop speed. Look at the pop off the wall and the immediate turn, rendering Stafford but ghosts and memories as we move into our final round of this first half. 24-4, Sam. Crits is unstoppable.
That's the that's my dream, Katie, right there. Monkey Man, that's what we all aspire to. We all aspire to be Crits, but Crits, there is only one. This is a really good start, though, for Stafford. The first sign of life that we've seen from them in quite some time. Neptunia finding the first pick onto Short Giraffe in mid. That is going to be massive here and really slow down the approach of Rock Hill, something that we haven't seen in quite some time. But the linchpin of the strategy is that Crits is still alive, Monkey Man. I don't think we can understate that.
No, not at all. Until Crits is dead, that spark of life is nothing but the plug going in for the life support machine, trying to keep Grandpa living. And at this moment, Stafford, they're going to commit a bit of a util dump. You do have the Odin trying to get a soft spray, and that's Neptunia that will find Crits. So there is a moment of greatness, but Mystic Reality, who did find some early kills at the beginning of this matchup, they will eventually fall. Vincent is a great counter foil to help out when Crits is not there, and it's going to be a re-entry, a retake that's going to have to come in through CT.
This is the best opportunity that Stafford has had in a long time. It's a 2v2 situation. And most importantly, Alter has the Cypher ultimate that they can use. Gather the intel, figure out exactly where Rock Hill is. A good moment to be able to use that. Once the molly goes away, can make their approach in through this side off on the angle. Maybe sees the first two pings have happened. They know that Toastar is over towards the right, but that Odin is going to put a lot of pressure onto Ultra. This coordination needs to happen immediately, and the hammer has fallen. Stafford able to find their second round, but I mean, Monkey Man, their second round to Rock Hill's 10.
See, you say that, and at one point, a long time ago, and probably more often in my ranked games, I would agree here, Sam. However, I watched Billy give up 10 rounds. I've watched them give up 11 rounds in a row after going up 10-2 on DRX. And that was a flip, and that was Lotus, and that was a different map entirely, and those are the pros. However, it is possible. 10-2 Curse is the upgrade right now, and that's exactly what Stafford needs to believe. They have to take this next half every step of the way. And they just gotta say, one round at a time, one round at a time. If you don't let them get around, that 10 doesn't matter. But it's gonna be tough because they're gonna have to execute, where a Cypher on defense is pretty king here on Ascent. This is gonna be a weird attack for them. They really have to kind of push around Neptunia.
They are, and with the way that Jet is now, The decisive factor of playing Jet is going to be so much more important. The decision-making from Neptunia. We haven't talked a lot about their smokes either. The reduction in time goes from 4 seconds to 2 seconds. Neptunia is not letting that stop them, though. They are very confident, and they are ready to start fighting. Clearing out Hell. Tostar is on the other side of it. The inside of the smoke! They don't realize it! Tostar finds one onto Roach, but Neptunia in there is going to get the trade off. We're going to see kicks from Pix. Neptunia still going to try and fight it out! 1 to 2 to 3! Beautifully well done from this Jet. And now we're seeing the signs of life come back for the however comma, Monkey Man. Well, however comma is happening.
However, comma. I love commas. I love punctuation, and that round was punctuated by the tap tap at the very end by Neptunia, who, gotta remind everyone, they were first blood of the entirety of this match, and then otherwise really kind of faded into obscurity. And that's something that cannot be, as a definition, for Stafford going into any of these rounds. At this point, they're going to need to win bonus, and I think they're playing very hard around that. They're going to be taking a lot of these early reads, seeing if they can just win them outright, not dropping any bodies. Bulldogs, Spectres in hand. Vincent is going to be patrolling here around Pizza and mid, seeing if anyone will come on up, and they don't see the initial push, and that is actually forcing Rock Hill to kind of look around, and they've shifted a couple players over to A.
They got a little scared.
Doing a great job forcing the issue, and Vincent now has a Bulldog to equalize the matter. They're going to check this back line. Oh, but they don't get the spray on target. Alter's actually going to run all the way gone. They're reloading, and they're going to take that bite straight to the skull. It's 2 players left versus the 1, and I thought maybe HP bars mattered. That's not the case. Stafford, they will grab the second round, but again, now this is the pickle you drop into because of our round diff from the first half.
And then we also think about how that anti-eco went for Rock Hill. That was a really good anti-eco, all things considered. They got 3 picks. They took off armor from Stafford of the final 2 remaining, that being Mystic Reality and Bugs. So we're starting to see how this buy is going to work. What is the idea in their head? Do they want to try and force things out here, or do they want to save for next? But when you're in these close, tight situations of that round differential, you don't want to give up too much to Rock Hill, but you also don't want to put yourself in that bad economical position. And that's the situation that Stafford has found themselves in, choosing and electing to go to save to buy for next.
It's not a bad choice, because they can still play around the key kind of submachine guns that they do have. Tailwind's been activated. That's on a 5-second less activation state as well, so that's going to be very timely. They use the Cloudburst, going to get in, and now it's up to Neptunia, who's going to be forcing the issue. They're going to have a hard spray into door just to put some of that down lane pressure and not allow anyone through for free. But you still have Karo, who's been hanging out here on site. They did it last time. They did another. That's a great blind guard. Tostar and Crits, the top 2 of this squad for a reason, and it is laying them to waste. Nearly a flawless. Alter will be able to alter that reality for all of a moment. But it's Rock Hill who very much comes out on the better side of it. Good idea, I think, from Stafford ultimately to go for that bonus save, because now they're going to be able to take the big fight here on the rifle round.
Exactly. Being able to now go into this next round with guns against Rock Hill, that puts yourself on a much better equal footing. Had they not won that round, that would have been nothing short of what do we do here, Dexter? That's what it exactly would have been. But being able to, rotate around, take the fight, and now have guns in your hand for this one, Rock Hill may be that one away, but Stafford needs to dig deep, find it in their soul to, maybe potentially find something there.
Well, let's see if they'll be able to find it here. I like the split. This is something that hasn't been tried yet, even by Rock Hill. They didn't really have a 4-1 split. Sometimes you have that lurker that goes around the opposite side of the map, but Mystic Reality, they tested it just to see if they would have the initial duel onto tiles. And it looks like that we're having just basically a big dance going here onto A. So as they crash through, can they be able to establish site control for much of it? And I believe that we're actually just kind of dead on air. And we'll be coming back into Ascent as it is, hopefully to glory, Sam. And so we go in, but it's now just 2 remaining for Rock Hill.
Just the 2 remaining. Rock Hill in a very dicey situation. And this is what we were talking about. As long as Stafford is able to find something inside of themselves, Bugs just wasn't ready for Vincent to drop down and be decisive But when you need decisiveness, Neptunia is there to decide the round, and they just decided it in favor of Stafford.
Let's go, Neptunia. All right. So it doesn't matter if all the util, if all of the abilities and everything about the agent is nerfed, as long as you're a rifler. That's what matters the most here. It's a gun game at its base, Sam. So
exactly.
Good job by Neptunia. This is a player that I think that it's going to have to be that tip of the spear.
Monkey Man, we can come up with all of the amazing strategies in the world that would make 5-star generals jealous. But as long as you got the aim, right? If you can tap heads, if you can click heads, it really makes strategies fall apart.
Just click them, just click their bodies.
Just click the body, click the heads. It's forehead. It's just so simple. Stafford, though, they're still finding that lifeline, and we're seeing the fight coming back into them. Rock Hill, right, had a really great string of rounds after they lost that bonus round from the previous half. If Stafford can make that happen for themselves, right, we're going to be looking at that overtime. Toestar found out, though. A lot of damage hiding out beside the crate. The wall banks come through, and now we're going to see the nightfall onto them. Toestar just wasn't ready for Neptunia. However, Short Giraffe on the other side in tree is going to be able to get that trade out there. This is going to be Stafford. All right, we got our pick. What do we do here? The smokes have fallen. We don't want to entry into it just yet. We'll see if what's going to happen inside of tiles. Not what they wanted. Mystic Reality falling. Short Giraffe finding 2 kills now.
Short Giraffe, I mean, Rock Hill made that move. That was round 1 whenever they went to tree to be able to take on A again. And they're like, hey, we wrote this part of the playbook. That's ours. So great read against them. A single click and then a dismiss thereafter. Crits is able to get him off of the paint shells and the leer. Well, that's going to scare Alter off, but they are separated from the spike. So into a 1v3, and they're going to have to face down the fears of several guns and laser sights, and maybe they'll commit to it. And shock darts galore. The util dump begins, and they don't have a lot of time to do much of anything. They'll at least grab one, but Vincent, they were basically a 50 cal mounted turret from the middle of A site, and that will get this to match point.
I liked what we saw from Stafford there, but the biggest problem that happened was the smokes didn't come down quick enough to save Neptunia from Short Giraffe inside of tree. Once they lost Neptunia, it really fell apart. Mystic Reality was kind of the final lifeline that they needed to stay in that round, but once they fell once again by the hands of Short Giraffe, really put Stafford in a situation that they
on catwalk in round number 16. They will be able to at least find some level of success with a couple of quick shots. They are thirsting for an AR that they want to pick up, but it's Short Giraffe, and they own these planes. Roach will be able to get them, but another trade as Bugs will be stomped by crits as they find another through the smoke.
And Roach is all by their lonesome Caro. Not a care in the world, right onto their head. And that is going to be Rock Hill and a 13-5 against Stafford on Ascent.
Wow. All right. So, quick review. In case you didn't know, Crits is kind of amazing. So, that team, they came in with double duelists. I like the sentiment of coming onto Ascent, post-patch, lots of changes. They're like, you know what? Crits, you go kill. Toestar, you get those smokes down. Everyone else, let's play. And that team looked very smooth. Great operators coming through. And you saw Stafford having semblances of growth at the end of the match, but it was just kind of too little too late. When you have a 10-2 gap from your first half, it's a very hard recovery point, but they were able to at least keep it close until it basically wasn't.
And I think the impressive thing about Rock Hill, right, because we were talking a lot about crits, especially in that first half. Second half, though, they were kind of quiet. They didn't have as much impact as they did in that first half. Obviously, it didn't get to go as long, so maybe could have been able to get that. But really, the rest of Rock Hill were able to step up and kind of fill the gaps, especially when we look over at the other duelist of Vincent. Really high impact frags that swung the shape of this, their defending half in a way that I think really set themselves up for a lot of success. But it's like you said, though, Stafford, also really great growth. It was just a round differential like that going 10-2. It not only is it difficult to physically be able to get over it, but then there's also that mental aspect, right? We got to cover so much ground, so many rounds in a row where Rock Hill has a lot of opportunities to make mistakes where Stafford every single mistake is magnified tenfold. It becomes so much more painful.
And if there was ever easier painted picture to be seen, it's that there's definitely been an equalization of duelists out here.
Yeah.
Jets is going to need some key workarounds. You better be higher in your mechs if you want to be rocking that agent. Whereas on the pressure game, trading off, Vincent quietly came in, went 21-10, by the way, whereas Crits dropped the 30 bomb with a 430 ACS. That is absurdity. But a lot of credit to Toestar with 20 assists. That's a brim that's like, my killers go kill. Team, go team.
Listen, I put the smokes down. I've given you the stimmy because I'm Brimmy. Go out there, get the work done, and that's exactly what they did. But that is going to be it for this best of one, of course, powered by Vanta. A big thank you to them. We are going to go to a short break to set up for our next matchup, which is going to be a best of 3 powered by XP League. So don't go anywhere as we continue the Ascent to Glory kickoff powered by the U.S. Army ROTC, and Esports U.
I wasn't born a leader.
Expect from that first job out of college. Working your way up from the bottom. Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it and make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.